of the Mind Flare.
We begin our adventure today in Oyer, far, far to the east of Bokt, south of Saibhir. Yeah,
North of
if you're on our map, you'll see the continent of Saibhir. You would see the Wyvern's Vein, the river that runs from up one of the large mountains in Neodract, curves down around there over the border and down to Saibhir. Above this river is the main kind of continent of Saibhir, where the humans frolic and joyfully spend time under the tyrannical rule of Queen Banrian, the city of Oyer, far, far away from where we begin our story. Just over the river, between the Wyvern's Vein and Druktoliv, the Shadowlands to the south, in the city of Ebonreach, a modest city not too far from the border of Neodract, where the elves and dwarves are currently fighting. The land here is somewhat sundered by the rot of the Shadowlands, the war in Neodract, and the fact that the higher-ups in Saibhir don't deem it necessary for these lands to be looked after. There are Queen's Guard here, but this posting is more on paper than it is actual work. And indeed, a lot of the people in Ebonreach and a lot of the law in Ebonreach is kind of enforced by yourself or your neighbour. If the Queen's Guard are involved, they do the bare minimum. We begin our adventure around the same time that our current main campaign is happening, as our players are down in Fiona, grappling in the Howling Ring. We open on two men walking into a tavern. Charles Midscar, would you like to describe and introduce yourself as you step into this tavern here?
You see a decently tall individual, for the area at least, roughly 6 foot. He has dark hair, kind of scruffy, and a beard that comes to a fine sort of point, mustache attached. He sort of strides in. He has this sort of unique headband separating, just above his ears. And on each section of the headband is a small strip of metal with an intricate carved rune that sort of seems to catch the light, whichever angle you look at it from. He wears sort of a red tunic tied at the waist and a travel cloak. He looks a little scruffy, a little dishevelled. If you could see him without the cloak on, you would see multiple scars, but generally giving off the aura of a tall commoner. So he's eyeballing the room. He's got a purpose, but he looks rather unassuming.
As you step into the Flaming Inn, it is your classic Irish tavern kind of look. You've got booths with slightly stained leather. You've got a central bar in the middle with glasses kind of hung from racks on the ceiling there, or on the ceiling of the bar, rather. You would see that it is relatively well populated, and as you step in with another individual, heads turn, but heads don't turn with that "What are you doing here?" Just a cursory kind of glance from most of the individuals here. Most of the individuals here are scruffy, dirty, unclean, unshaven. Some of the women are indeed unshaven. Some of the men have a grime from a day's work, maybe a week's work before they actually get a bath. This is a town not too dissimilar to like Deadwood. As you step in, beside you is Henning Dilpin, a slightly shorter, slightly more portly, clean-shaven, a few nicks where he's tried to shave himself with a razor there. You would see that he has a bit of a rosy complexion, large eyes, and a little bit of a Friar Tuck, almost a bowl cut without the bald patch. You can see that he has earrings, two sets of earrings that kind of dangle down, and on the end of on his earlobes with two kind of hoop kind of ring earrings. You would see each hoop has a little stone that seems to have a similar kind of runic carving on each of them to your headband there. He is wearing a large kind of overcloak hiding like a tweed vest and pants that are slightly too big for him, that he has like a rope belt tied around. Not a poor individual, but doesn't spend his money on his aesthetics.
Yeah, we're not drawing attention to our looks.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Except just now when we do.
Except when we do. When we walk in and we sort of stand there.
Yeah, pose.
Charlie's Angels.
Yes. As we step on in, you would see that there is a barkeep, two barkeeps rather. Looks to be two women that seem to be in charge of this place. One rather stocky, well built. That since we saw her yesterday, Gina Carano kind of vibe. Frustrating Gina Carano.
Yeah. I glare at the bar wench.
She kind of looks up while wiping a glass and just kind of gives you a frown of like, what the fuck's wrong? Henning is going to turn to you and just say, I'm going to find a booth for us. I'll be ready.
I'm still picking my voice.
I just picked it then.
Yeah. You just picked that then. That was interesting. You'll look and his eyes sort of flick away from the bar wench. And
tell me, is that hatred or love in your eyes? Because I can't really tell, to be honest.
I'll tell you what, it isn't. It isn't love. It's more of a disdain. It's more for the general populace of the area.
Well, we're here for a reason, and we'll get what we need, and we'll leave.
Aye. Right. Well, you get the drinks, I'll get the booth. Or you get the booth,
I'll get the booth, you get the drinks.
Why
don't we do boulder parchment cheers to see who gets the drinks?
Cheers.
Because you clearly don't want to go after that.
I really don't.
Boulder parchment cheers. Oh, both cheers. Here we go. Boulder parchment cheers. You can go get the drink. I'll go get the booth.
And Henning kind of steps off towards the booth.
As Charles sort of makes his way towards the main bar area, sort of heading towards the second of the two bar ladies, even if she's further away, he's going to deliberately make his way to her instead. And just sort of quietly sort of taking note of other people in the bar.
Do you want to make a perception check for me real quick?
Oh, I do. I really do.
Here we go.
Look, it wasn't great. 8.
You're too set on avoiding the Gina Carano looking barkeeper to really pay too much attention to anyone else. You glance back and you do see that Henning has procured a booth after talking with a solo individual that was there and kind of making movements to kind of point and gesture and as if to say, my friend's going to join. If you want to stick around in this booth, you can. But and you turn back and you're there with the barkeep.
Hey there.
Honey, what can I do for you?
I'll get 2 ales, if you will.
Of course. Anything else? Anything to eat? Anything like that?
Maybe
Scotch egg, something like that.
You got Scotch eggs? I'll take 2.
2 Scotch eggs, 2 ales.
2 ales, 2 Scotch eggs. Yeah, that sounds about right.
I haven't seen you around here before. You local or
no?
You
just
frequent a different pub or
just passing through. Kind of following rumors.
Oh,
yeah. Heard there's been some monster sightings, monster attacks lately.
Oh goodness, yeah. We've been filthy with monster sightings and attacks. Someone was talking about some sort of large muscular beast with kind of big pointy fangs and claws on its hands coming around here.
You don't say.
Yeah, we're Queen's Guard won't do anything about it, and the locals are kind of trying to put groups of hunters together in the middle of the night to hunt for this thing.
And they've not had any luck.
No luck so far. It's at this point that the larger barkeep comes over with a bit of a protective look at her partner. As she steps over, she says,
What can we do for you?
Oh, he was just asking about an ale, a couple of ales, a couple of Scotch eggs, but he was talking about that weird muscular creature that's been attacking people.
He looks like he's causing trouble, is what he looks like.
The more slight barkeep turns to you and says, "You're not causing trouble, are you?"
Hey, no, nothing like that. When I walked in, I got something in my eye, and I'm sorry, you were right there, and it was awkward. I didn't want to walk up to you and make it a whole thing, and then now here we are. It's this whole thing.
The more slight barkeep looks back at her partner and says, "See, he's just here. He's a patron. You don't need to get, you can calm down."
I at that point, I feel that she would sort of look down and be like, "All right, honey, but money first."
You heard my partner. Money first.
Yeah, okay, we got money, we got gold. And I sort of like reach into a pouch and sort of without sort of jingling it around, I'll just sort of
fish out a coin.
flick out a coin or two.
Yeah.
Okay. And here's one for your troubles too.
As you put the coins on the table, you get large appreciative eyes from the younger one.
And just a slight scowl from the other one.
Excellent. Your ales are given to you. Your Scotch eggs are served in a little bowl with a little bit of brine and sauce on them. You look over, you see Henning is there, just kind of nervously drumming on the table, looking around at the patrons.
Charles just sort of rolls his eyes and starts moseying on across, sort of making his way, not around the tables, but like in between them, to the point where he's sort of having to like do the thing at a classic pub where you've got too many drinks and you just be like, "No, excuse me, I'm sorry, come to, mind your head, sorry, got the beer, just get out, fucking the way, hey, come on now, hey, sorry, I got a drink, I didn't want to spill it," and just sort of all the way through, makes his way, but like deliberately through
everyone
and just trying to clock people a little bit more this time because he knows he didn't get a good look on the way to the bar.
Give me an insight check this time, and Henning's going to do the same because he's been there for a little bit. So let me roll an insight. What have I got? +6 for my insight.
Not a great start. I got a 4.
I got a nat 1.
I rolled a 2.
As you get to the table, you look, and Henning just looks up, he kind of throws his arms in the air and says, "Honestly, I think we're in the wrong place. I don't think this is the right place for what we're wanting to do."
I like to think that when Charles arrived with such a low roll, all the looking around and the spinning and the walking through people, he's spilt like half of each beverage.
Yeah.
And so he gets there and they've got like half a pint each.
Yeah.
And he sort of goes, "Well, I just got the runaround from the ladies at the front there. They are not fans of me." Well, the smaller one was okay, but they've been having some troubles lately.
So they have been having some troubles.
They have been having some troubles.
Knowing nod and glance between Henning
and you sort of, at that point, I suppose you would notice that there is a slightly lighter coloured patch on the headband worn by Charles, as there's appears to be like one of the small metal tablets are missing.
Okay, yeah. Henning would nod and say, "Right, but I don't think that anyone here is appropriate for what we want to do. They don't seem to be... I've been checking them out. No one here seems to have... Don't look like they have enough coin or enough knowledge. We might have to pick another place."
And Charles is at that point I really want to do an insight check on that because,
absolutely.
And he seems nervous. He seems super nervous to be here.
Yeah. You give me an insight. I'll give you a persuasion or deception.
10.
10 on the dice for 14. You would see that while you were doing what you're doing, Henning was very much clocking the everyone around.
Yeah.
You don't know whether he got a good enough read of everyone, but he seems to have been doing his part of the job at least here.
Yeah.
He looks up and he says, "We should at least maybe sit here, have a drink, and eat, and see if we are approached. You've put the seed in the minds of the barkeeps. Perhaps something will grow."
Yeah, I think that's a sound plan. Plus, my feet are sore. I could use a minute or two.
Your feet are always sore.
I know, but that's the
Ever
problem.
since you dislocated your ankle.
Oh, and art imitates life. I know, but you know me. We've been trudging up and down mountains, snow, sliding down that thing all for the last 12 days.
Right,
so,
right.
You know my feet are sore.
I don't mean to pick on you. I just...
No, that's fine.
You look like the fitter of the two of us, and yet I'm the one who seems to have not hurt myself just yet.
It's all for show.
Right.
Right, well, let's just keep an eye out.
Excellent.
There's also Queen's Guard about.
Really?
Apparently, though, they don't get involved, so I think we'll be fine.
The quicker we can get enough money to leave Sevilla altogether, the better. I'm starting to wonder whether going over the border to Neodract, however difficult that will be, might be a better option.
Just keep it down a little bit. Again, we don't want to advertise that.
Nods and kind of sips, like picks up the beer and kind of sees that it's half empty and just drags yours across, pours yours into my glass, and then just starts sipping at it.
Yeah, I just sort of take the other Scotch egg.
Yeah. Excellent. You're sitting there for probably around 45 minutes to an hour before...
Really just milking that beer, you know?
Yeah, like really milking that beer, really milking that egg. There would be a point... What's your passive perception? 12, 13. There will be a point where we would notice that one of the larger tables that has what look to be men and women that are working class, one of them gets up and gets a drink, and as they get a drink, you would watch as the burly Gina Carano barkeep would kind of lean into him, just kind of whisper in his ear, and his eyes shoot across to our table.
Yeah.
And he just kind of nods, takes a bunch of beers and sits down with his table and kind of leans in and starts whispering to his table.
I'm going to sort of... Charles just sort of goes... heads up, sort of...
No, I saw. How do you want to play this?
We could do the old floozy-doozy.
Floozy-doozy. I believe the floozy-doozy would be suitable for this. Are you good cop or bad cop?
I'll go bad cop.
Right.
It's always more fun.
I'll be inept cop.
That's yeah, okay. That's the standard.
Yes. I mean, it's the only cop I can do.
You could mix
really.
it up now and then, but that's okay.
Not too long before 2 full beers are sent over here, and as we glance over, the barkeep just nods to the table, and you would see the bigger, burlier of the two. Have you watched Chernobyl?
Yes.
You know the big, like, the fatter kind of miner who's walking around naked with a handlebar mustache?
Yeah.
That kind of looking guy, just kind of nods to our table with like a, may I?
I'm going to sort of slide across the seat a little bit and just kind of give a little glance down to it.
Excellent.
To sort of, I realized that when I did that, I should probably explain the eye movement that I was doing.
Yes, that's the problem
Otherwise,
with this. Yeah. I will, Henning will kind of immediately kind of prestidigitate the table to make it a little nicer.
Nice.
To kind of wave his hands over the top and kind of drum his fingers as the table kind of tidies. The sticky patches kind of leave. And Henning will kind of, whereas you've kind of slid over to invite him, I'll move into the corner and kind of become a little bit more...
mysterious.
Mysterious and also... compact, making myself even smaller than I actually am.
Yeah.
As this individual steps on over. So, I hear you were talking about the monster before there.
Oh, just passing interest in following some rumors around. I heard the town's been a little bit under, not siege lately, but strange things are happening.
We've been, Jason, the name.
Oh, Jason, lovely to meet you. It's Charles.
Charles, and your friend here? Henning. You're both not from around here, are you?
Of course not. We're simply passing through, but couldn't
You
resist.
from the big city, or are you from somewhere else?
That's not important. Just, the main thing is that we're here now, and we're here to help. You do need help, don't you?
Kind of bristles a little bit and says, we're having a little trouble with a creature of some sort that seems to be terrorizing our places of business and our homes and injuring a couple of folk the last 2 or 3 nights.
Could you describe the creature? Have you seen it at all?
No one's seen it. They've seen shades of it. Big, muscly, claws, pincers, something along those lines.
And I heard from our bartender friend that there's been a few posses gathered to try to hunt this creature.
Looks back at his own table and says, "We ourselves wanted to do it ourselves, but unfortunately we kind of fell a bit short. The Queen's Guard do fuck all, and I mean, we got a little bit of gold if you're capable individuals. If you've come from Oyer or 12 Point, you've probably got a little bit of that arcana in you. I wonder if you may be able to lend a hand."
At that point, you see sort of Charles sort of move his hand towards the center of the table where there's like a solitary candle, and you see the flame kind of jump from the candle to his hand as he then proceeds to use it to sort of go atop each of his fingers individually, one at a time. He lingers on the middle finger for just a moment.
Yeah. You would, as you do that, Henning would use shape water and kind of pull the beer from the mug that you were given, and it comes up like a set of dolphins and kind of and just splashes and puts out the fire as they dive back into the mug.
Yeah.
And Henning just kind of looks at the guy and says, "We are extremely capable, even though my friend is somewhat of a smartass."
And you'll see just at that moment, Charles just sort of reaches up to one of the candles on the wall and sort of waves his hand, and the flame disappears from that one and just sort of falls down with control flame to the candle in the middle of the table once more, so we've got a bit more underlighting.
Roll for me a performance. Do you want to roll with advantage, or do you want me to roll as well?
I think you should roll as well.
Okay, here we go. Performance check.
Oh, baby!
Nat 20!
18 for a 19.
Nat 20 for a 28.
Beautiful. Jason kind of looks and says, "That is extremely impressive."
Blown his tiny mind.
Yeah, he's like, "I have never seen arcana of the sorts before around here. Did you train at 12 Point? And there's a bit of an awkward silence as Henning kind of looks at you and just imperceptibly gives you a shake of the head.
Yeah, Charles sort of notices that straight away, and we kind of don't want it known where we're coming from. So he's just going to be, "Oh, no, nothing like that there, friend. This is but a parlor trick. Is nothing. Kids back home know this. We have other things up our sleeves, but we don't want to alarm or alert anyone here who might think that we are untoward. We are upstanding individuals."
Well, it's enough for me. If that's just a parlor trick, I hate to see what you're going to do to this thing. We have it on good authority that the creature seems to frequent the old kind of warehouse district down closer towards the Wyvern's Vein River. People have been clearing out of there. They don't really want to stick around. Maybe that's the place you should start, and me and my friends could pull together a tidy sum of gold if that's going to be enough for you.
Well, that would be much appreciated.
Would 100 gold be enough?
Each? Well, you drive a hard bargain, but if that's what we have to bring our rates down to, then that's something that we can do.
I don't know if we can afford 100 each. Henning kind of leans forward and says, "You'll have to forgive my brother in arms here. He values our business, our abilities, far more than I do, but I fear he may be correct. If something is this dangerous, the materials alone in casting and doing what we want to do would be well above 100 gold piece." Either persuasion or persuasion with advantage. One each or one with advantage?
Go one each again.
Yeah. This is two DMs playing, knowing that the...
that's a nat one.
Oh boy. Okay, so that is a for me persuasion. That's a 14, a 15.
I've gone from a nat 20 to a nat 1.
So a nat 1 and a 15.
I try to play it cool at that point, and as I'm picking up my drink, I forget that it's empty, and I just sort of.
I'm gonna go ahead and roll the the big die here.
Die.
So what was that?
The decider.
The decider. So we got a 15 and a nat 1, so 2 fails and a pass.
Yeah.
He needs to beat a 10. Like nothing too hectic.
Yeah.
Here we go. That's a 2.
It's a 2.
Okay. Here we go. So Jason kind of looks and says, We'll scrap together what we can. It's not going to be 100 gold piece from each of us, but we can certainly canvass the area and the bar and get a bit more cash together.
I think Charles knows that was just luck, that didn't go so poorly, that he's going to just, yes, of course, we'll be happy with that.
Well, you'll bring us the creature's head or proof you got rid of the creature, and
we'll capture it. A creature like that, by the sound of it, when they're dead, they can be even worse to be around. So it might be a case of disposing of the body entirely.
Yeah, Jason kind of looks at you and says, "You capture them."
We've captured in the past. Depending on the creatures, sometimes a catch and release.
Are you two trackers?
No, not so tracker-ish. More trap-ish. We're trappers.
He looks at Henning, and Henning kind of nods and says, "We are one of the very few in these lands that are proficient in the capture, procure, training of aberrant creatures. We will dispose of the creature however we deem necessary, but if we can do without killing it, we will try not to kill it." Jason kind of looks and says, You two are something else. Trappers. Right. And he kind of stands up and
you sort of
away.
see, at that point, as he sort of walks away, Charles's other hand was just kind of like underneath the table, with a finger just pointed at our friend as he walks away.
Excellent. Henning looks at you and says, "Well, it looks like we have a job."
Hey. Shall we,
Mosey on out?
I think so.
We move through the city of Ebonreach. It is timber and stone, slightly gothic. The ground is a little squelchy from the water kind of coming from the river.
Do you want the...
Everyone will hate that. I just
Yeah,
drooled on the mic.
Yeah, that's...
And as we make our way through the city, we can see that there are cities guard, but they don't seem to be paying too much attention. We're able to kind of move through unhindered. We do see that there are people using chamber pots in the street, or using the street as chamber pots. We hear there are other bars
Charles will
and
stop
taverns.
briefly at a wall and write his name.
Yeah, absolutely. I will immediately prestidigitate it.
That tracks.
And as we move off into the warehouse district, closer towards the river, the warehouses designed so that things can be built and made and produced and then sent either upstream or downstream, mostly downstream, out to the bay and then out across the water to the other side of Safirith. A longer trip, but a quicker trip. Rather than carrying it by horse and cart straight into the city, you take the water route. As we get to the warehouse district, there are dozens of warehouses on the water, close to the water. Henning will look at you and say, "Where do you think he got off to? I know we don't keep a tabs, but..."
That's an interesting one. He's always been a slippery fucker. He was hard to catch the first time.
I told you we should have used my own.
But the problem with your ones is they tend to be a little bit more deadly.
Well,
at least this one is more about property destruction than ending lives.
Well, we shall see the outcome, and then we can reassess whether we are using the correct monsters for this ruse.
Perhaps next time we go with several smaller monsters.
I think that might be a better idea. Please ignore what I'm rolling right now.
Oh, God.
Okay. Cool. As we make our way towards the warehouse district, we do hear like a cling, 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 cling. Something's being knocked over. A couple of warehouses down.
Pretty sure that's just another chamber pot. As he sort of like, Charles backs himself sort of towards a wall.
Yeah.
What kind of time of day is it? Is it sort of...
It is late evening.
Late evening.
Yeah,
So there'd be shadows that he could sort of...
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's
into.
not a lot of... There are like sconce lights through here.
Yeah.
Like on the sides of the buildings, but there's no like big light. There are more shadows.
Because the big
than
light,
not.
we don't like the big light.
We don't like the big light. The big light's no good.
Big light is not good.
Excellent. Henning will be like, "Yes, I agree. Probably a chamber pot," and I'll split distance from you, and I'll very quietly minor illusion a barrel and just kind of step into the minor illusion and crash down in there. I would like you...
I have none of that shit.
Yeah. Hey, I built this
We
guy
have
for fun.
very different builds.
Yes. Can you go ahead and make a perception check for me?
I'm sure I can do that.
It's a 14... 15, 16, 17.
20... Just 20.
20. Beautiful.
I was like 20... Oh, no, it's only 2. Yeah, 20.
There is definitely movement where that noise came from. Something larger. There also seems to be movement within that warehouse.
Ooh. So Charles is going to sort of reach up at this sort of moment very, very slowly towards his headband, and he's going to sort of run a finger along the area, the gap where the metal or the gemstone with runes in it is missing. And as he sort of runs his finger there, he sort of goes, "Okay, where are you, you fucking slippery fuck?" And he's going to try to sort of... Is there any, like, window or anything on that side you can, like, look into the warehouse from? Or
We're a couple warehouses down from where the noise is. We'd have to slink on over there. But there are indeed kind of like shuttered windows, large doors. There's no open windows, but they are shuttered that you might be able to see inside. They seem... imagine like a 2-story barn size warehouse.
Yeah. I'm going to, essentially try to start edging towards one of the corners that I could possibly start climbing upon the balustrade.
Yeah. Do you want to make a stealth check for me?
I do. It's not too bad. 20, dirty.
Beautiful. You slink away, no problem. Henning kind of... Wait, child, fuck.
He sort of sees this hand sort of come out into the light and then disappear back into the shadows. He gestures to stop.
Okay. Henning's going to stop there and is going to be fretting a little bit, but letting you do your thing as you slink towards this this warehouse. As you get to the warehouse, there's a flicker of sconce lights along one side that kind of light up. If you're looking down from the city towards the warehouse, you can see the line there, but behind the warehouse to the river is darkened. And as you get there, you would hear a familiar kind of... You tell me what this creature's noise would be.
Kind of more of a low... kind of like grumbling growl. Not an aggressive kind of sound yet, but it seems frustrated about something. It seems not really content with its current environment.
What do you want to do?
As I sort of approach each of these sort of light sconces, you're going to notice from where you are, from where Henning is, that each one will go dark as the flame disappears, and then I'll make my way to the next one, and then that one goes dark, but the one behind it goes on again.
Okay, gotcha. And then,
sort of, exactly. Flickering out and back on. Gotta love that control flames. Just to try to sort of get across as far as I can to then start climbing up the side.
Yeah. As you kind of...
I want to say I'm fully focused on the creature now that we've sort of come to that area.
So you want to climb up the side to get into the warehouse?
Yeah, I'm going to try to get like a high point, a vantage point, even if it's just on the outside of the building, because I'd like to sort of maintain some eye lines in the streets, but I'm focused on the creature.
As you glance out, you would see another barrel appear and then just Henning duck in there. He would look up at you and nod, and you would feel it's odd. You would feel your weight adjusting as he uses adjust density, and you feel him kind of weaving his fingers.
This before,
yes,
and I like immediately have like a small bowel movement, and I'm like,
Yep. And I used to see him pop out of the barrel and kind of nod and dip back in. You now have advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws.
Amazing.
So go ahead and make an athletics check to climb up the water spout like the itsy bitsy spider.
It was a -1, and it still is.
But with advantage.
I'm going to get out the good dice for this one. I mean, they're all good dice. Thank you, Bookworm.
No.
I don't fucking believe.
What do you got?
I got 2. I rolled 6 twice.
Okay, for a total of 5.
For a total of 5.
You begin to climb this water spout, and there's a and it kind of bends, and you don't fall, but you slide down and kind of nick your hand a little bit. As that happens, your creature's stops for a second, and you know that telltale sign of it going absolutely still and listening.
And sort of just like hanging off this, and I'd like to think I'm only like 2 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
It's just like pole is like leaned back.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I'm gonna look towards you.
Yeah.
And just give you that slight head shake from side to side, like this plan has not worked.
Okay.
On to plan C.
Excellent.
And I'm gonna drop.
Yeah.
And start to sprint because I know
Excellent.
that it's gonna give chase.
As you drop, I whip the adjust density. I adjust it back to your regular, so you know how to fucking sprint properly.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I'll adjust it to light, so you get an extra 10 feet of speed.
Nice. 10 feet
as you run out. You would watch as I do that to you. I then immediately press to digitate, and I'm going to snuff out the kind of the closest sconces to you. So you start to sprint. Yes. They go out. As you run out, you would hear from inside towards the inner back edge of that warehouse. You would hear the telltale sign of your creature about to sprint and growl, and then you would hear chains and like a grunt from it, and you hear it straining, and immediately you watch as Henning kind of frowns and looks at you.
Oh, and I reckon I would have started the run and I would have taken like 3 or 4 steps before I've noticed that, and then I've come to like a sliding sort of stop, spinning around kind of in the soft sort of mud and cobblestone, and just sort of really deep concern suddenly.
Henning's going to make a stealth check. That's an 11 for an 11. He is going to, you can still hear the slap of his feet, but he's going to kind of dart from box to box and just put out all the lights around this thing. Just and come sliding beside you and kind of land there and just say, "This is not normal.
No, this is fucked.
How do you want to do this?"
Well, if it's in there and it's chained up, that means something else has caught it. Those fucking double crosses.
It's at that point that you would see torch light around the outside of the warehouse, and we would see what looks to be that fucker that came up to us at the bar, his entire table, and you would see that they are not in workers' clothes, they are now in Queen's garb.
Conts, a lot of them.
What are you doing? What are we doing? Henning would look to you, like out of deference, and be like,
shit.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Yep. So,
you hear that same guy call out and say, "All right, don't move. We've had your trail for quite a while now, charlatans. If you want to see the light of day, and if you want your creatures to see the light of day, you'll stand down." And you can see that Henning is like fingering one of the beads on his earring.
Charles is sort of going to pat him on the leg and just, "No, not now. There's too many other factors. But the question is, do we want to stay and see where this goes, or do we want it to go and see who stays?"
I'm sure I don't quite understand what you mean. Shouldn't we get your friend and get the fuck out like we always do?
Yes. And it's at that moment that I'm gonna form a telepathic link with you, which has happened numerous times before. I sort of just close my eyes briefly, and you hear that sort of the classic. Every time I like to form a telepathic bond with you, I like to knock.
Okay.
And I wait for you to let me in before we actually commence talking.
Yeah.
And so you hear that knock.
You would hear
the base of your
shuffling in my mind. Like, hang on, push that there. All right, you come on in.
What I'm saying, you idiot, is And this right here, this moment, we can get out, and we see who stays to protect the beast. Or we can stay and see who goes to collect someone else.
They step closer. Henning says,
Do we want to find out who's in charge?
I think that would be best.
Then we stay, and Charles will just raise his hands and sort of interlock his fingers behind his head.
American History X style.
Yeah,
excellent.
Yeah.
Henning
just walk up to the curb and just...
Henning does the same. As Henning does the same, the guards step on in and immediately clap manacles on our hands. You hear the groaning and the grunting and the clinking of chains in the warehouse there. The guard...
I will say as well, in your head, you're also going to hear... And just remember, don't draw attention to the items.
Do you need to get him?
We can come back for him later.
Okay. As you're chained up, Jason says, Right, you're gonna be held here until an official from Moyer comes down, and they're gonna decide what to do with you.
Charles just sort of looks around him and is just like, here in the street? Or are you at least going to take us inside?
We're taking you into the stocks in Ebonreach, and we'll decide what happens from there. Someone very important has been keeping an eye on you two.
Yeah, I will say, it was awful kind of you to buy us a drink before you fucked us.
Well, that's, you always gotta lube up your date before you fuck them.
And Charles just sort of sees the deadpan expression in his eyes, and he's just like, this fucker's done this before.
You are kind of pulled by the chains and led into the city there. Stripped of your armor, your weapons, your items. You are left with your headband and your earrings, and you are taken into the stocks in Ebonreach. As you're locked up, you're locked in adjacent cells. There is a wall between you with a small vent, but you can't see each other. What we will do now is play through about a week of imprisonment before someone is brought down here. The first day or so, Henning keeps a relatively cool demeanor for Henning. You've been locked up before. You usually let out after a few words because you don't have any contraband or anything on you, and it's very hard to prove what trappers do. However, by the third day, fourth day, Henning starts to worry. What if they execute us? What if they banish us? What if we're split up?
I don't think Charles has kept it together quite as well as Henning. Because of the two of us, Charles definitely seems to take charge more times, but he relies on Henning for so much. The simple act of Henning prestidigitating Charles's piss off the side of a building. Charles doesn't have that spell.
Right.
Charles can't do that. Charles can't make nice smells, can't make bad food taste good, can't do anything like that.
Right.
So the slop that we've been getting fed has tasted like utter shit
to him.
Charles.
Yeah.
Whereas I know Henning's probably having lovely creamy mashed potatoes every time.
It's the difference between someone who's learnt their magic
Yes.
quite studiously and someone who's just embracing and harnessing what he's got cooking inside him.
Exactly. Now, maybe our listeners can figure out what our classes are from that.
Listeners?
With that. Listener. Maybe our listener.
Maybe our one listener.
Maybe our one listener. When I listen back to this, maybe I'll figure out who I'm actually playing.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, even though we've been next door to each other, and we've been able to communicate, you know, we can talk in a primordial sense, as well as the language. As well
through
as
the grate in the wall.
Through the grate in the wall. And I can also, you know, assume that we can still maintain our telepathic bond.
Indeed.
When I can see you. If we can see you.
Yes, there would be cases where one is let out to kind of get their 1 hour exercise and you'd be able to renew it, but it is few and far between. It's not a constant telepathic bond.
Nice. Well, and so we have a telepathic bond when we do it lasts for 6 minutes.
Right.
And it can be within
So 6 minutes a day, 6 to 12 minutes a day is how long we have telepathic speech for.
within 5 miles as well.
Yes.
So we have quite a range on
Yes,
this telepathic bond. So we would know if we get sort of carted away.
Yeah, but most of the time it is being let out for your exercise, your vitamin D, and then brought back in.
And that would be
past
sort
each
of
other.
more of a let me know what you see when you go out
Yes,
there.
yes.
And it's kind of just explaining, trying to figure out, I guess, guard passageways and crossovers and things like that.
We're going to
We could
make
use it as well.
an intelligence check each.
Yeah.
Just a flat intelligence check.
Ooh,
It's very hard to read.
17.
I got a 17 on the dice for a 21.
That's fair enough. You are
Intelligent.
intelligent. I'm more charismatic.
Exactly. Now you guys know. What we would have determined is that the guards have pretty regular, 8 to 12 hour shifts. They swap over there. They don't really talk. There's not many other prisoners in our section. And we feel our arcane powers dampened, either by shackles when we're taken out or by the room that we're in. With our intelligence checks, we would know that escape is improbable, not impossible. The best time to escape is when you're in the yard, being guarded but out in the open. The high wall
But also
might be
separate,
traversable,
though.
but also separate. There would have been a moment where we would have heard that the Chancellor has something to do with this, and maybe the Chancellor, the right-hand man of Queen Barian, might have organised something. And by the 5th or so day, Yason would have come back down and said, "All right, I got a good news and a bad news. Good news is we know what we're doing with you. Bad news is you're going to be moved to the Ebonreach Entertainment Edifice, and from there you'll be put on show, and that will decide your fate. The Chancellor says it's so."
That doesn't seem so bad. I mean, dinner and a show. What could be so bad about that?
The fact that you may be the dinner and the show.
Oh. Well, when you put it like that doesn't sound anywhere near as fun.
Another day or so passes before a rather flamboyant individual comes into the prison. This individual has come in to check what it is that we do and how they can use it for entertainment. The Chancellor has ordered them to make use of the prisoners, but we don't know much more than that. Who are you? What do you look like? What do you sound like?
A most flamboyant character. Long, flowing, billowing robes, as the Cape of Billowing, which this individual owns, just constantly striking a pose. Just
Using up them bonus actions.
Exactly. Hair is sort of coiffed into a mighty kind of tidal wave rolling forward. But it's also the most spectacular mullet you've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
A single solitary rat tail behind one of the ears.
Anakin.
A la Anakin.
Yeah.
But this sort of glorious mullet coming down to roughly the shoulder blades, like feathered and flowing, like the backside of rapids as it cascades down
Nice.
a riverway.
Very nice.
And this individual sort of comes right up and sort of kicks forward a stool and sort of with a small little brush dusts it off and then sort of takes a seat, and then poof, the cape billows once more out the back as he sits and goes, "Gentlemen, good evening. I understand you are to be our entertainment in the coming days. Can I just say I am excited to see you?"
I apologize. We are not aware of our fate, nor are we aware of who you are.
That's absurd. Of course you recognize me. Tis I, Rufus, the voice.
Rufus, the voice.
Yes.
Is it mandatory to roll the R at the top there?
Rufus, yes. Yes, it is. I'm surprised. You must not be from around here, then.
We are from elsewhere, you are correct. We ran afoul of the law. We honestly don't know...
Yes, you did.
...what it is we're here for. We were helping with a monster.
Oh, yes, of course. That's what they that's what they told me. It'll be a combination event, I believe. I'm informed that it will be man versus monster. Or is it man and monster versus monster? Either way, we're going to have a lot of fun together. And one of you will certainly, come out of it, slightly better off, I'm sure. But the two of you together, I tell you, if you pull this off correctly, you could gain all sorts of things. You could gain your freedom once more, and a hefty sum of money if you put on a good show. That's the main thing.
There is silence for a moment, and Henning says,
Who was it that first knew that we do what we do? Can you at least tell us that?
And Charles kind of does the same thing. He sort of comes forward towards the edge of the cell, just sort of leans an arm on one of the bars and listens in, as Rufus kind of looks around and says, Gentlemen, that information is not pertinent to our current situation, but I tell you what, you perform well for me, and I will find that out for you. Do we have an accord?
I'll lean out of the bars and try to get a look at Charles there.
Yeah, Charles does a similar thing, sort of head leans out slightly, they sort of catch eyes.
Telepathic
link, and you just hear this.
Of course, fucking why not? The jig is up.
Common courtesy.
The jig is up. We are done for. They know what a trapper is, what a trapper does.
Hey, calm down.
Do we just
could work in our advantage?
Drop our monsters now and use them as a distraction?
He's rubbing his earrings there.
He sort of Charles notices and he goes, no, calm down. They may know who we are and what we do, but they don't know that we've got more monsters with us. And if luck would have it, this person's offering us not only a way out, but also a tidy sum of money to get us back up on our feet. Now, if we perform well, we might lose one or two of our monsters. But if we put on a good show, the old flourish. What was that job that we pulled 3 years ago? You know the one.
You mean down in Fianna?
Yes.
When we convinced the animal folk that the enormous Etterath that was wreaking havoc was merely a lost soul.
Aye, that's the one. You know how many riches we got after that? I didn't need to do another job for 2 years.
And yet, look where we have ended up.
Yes, well, we can blame what we want.
Don't blame it on the sunshine.
No, I'm going to blame it on that boogeyman. And Rufus kind of...
Yeah, at this point...
he sort of looks between the two of you, and he's like, Gentlemen, I'm afraid I can't hang around forever, but if we have an accord and we can put on a good show, perhaps we can work together.
I'm going to
If not, I have other plans.
I'm going to make an insight check.
Ooh, do it.
What do we want the DC to be? On Rufus.
On Rufus,
incredibly...
he's like a game master. He's been doing this for years. I'd say 15.
DC 15?
At least.
I'm going to say 18.
Okay. He's a bit higher level.
I think he's...
He's a charismatic motherfucker.
He's a very charismatic motherfucker. Insight, okay. That's an nat 1.
You know what? I like this idea. I think he is trustworthy, and I think that perhaps if we can both put on a good show, I don't know what he means by one of us will be worse off. Surely there's like a silver medal fee that might be, but we share everything, so let's do it.
Charles sort of says out loud, Oi, Rufus, the voice, you've got yourselves a deal. An accord, as you said. We'll play your game. And in your head, Henning hears, just keep an eye out on him. Keep him in your sight the whole time. Because if things turn, he's going to be our target. and he's going to be our ticket out.
How many do you have in that headband of yours?
I have 4.
As do I.
I'll keep the earrings close. I don't know what they expect us to do, but we'll give them a show. And Rufus is sort of smiling from ear to ear, and he's sort of like, excellent, well, gentlemen, this will be an evening to remember. We may even have some special guests in the audience. And, of course, there'll be wagers placed on each of you, and obviously on the beasts as well. But between me and you, how confident are you? I'd like you to roll either a persuasion or a deception check and tell me how confident you are in your abilities. Shit, Charles rolled a natural 1.
Okay. With a 19, Henning is going to say,
We are the foremost trappers in the lands. We don't just find the beasts and trap them, we train them, we have a bond with them. You will have a show, and then the both of us will be freed.
And Charles is sort of leaning one arm on the bar and says, oh, aye, yes, we will. And his elbow slips and he smacks
hits his head,
on
farts
the
a
bar.
little bit.
Oh, you hear this gong as he's like... and Rufus just outstanding.
You did burn all your nat 20s.
I did burn all my nat 20s. I don't know how many ones I've rolled this game, but it's been a lot.
That's so good.
We cut away from that moment to an evening about 3 nights from now. The lads have been separated soon after that. They have been taken in a la Hunger Games. They have been brought in to be outfitted and dressed up as lavishly as possible to make this more of a spectacle.
Ooh, I like that.
I would like to know what your quote-unquote fighting outfit is. I will give you Henning's fighting outfit, and we will cut to them stepping out. They meet for the first time under the stadium, standing on a circular platform together as the guards ring around them. You look at Henning. Henning has this odd kind of what's it fucking called? The French hat.
Oh, a beret.
A beret. He's got this beret that has kind of tassels coming off the side of it rather than like anything at the top. You can see that he's got this high-collared, almost Mind Flayer-esque Neo kind of coat that goes down. It seems to be like shimmering emerald on the outside with like inlay of like almost a white and pink inlay. You can see that he's got bright white kind of chaps pants on. He's got a
arseless. I'm assuming
a
arseless
waist.
chaps.
You can't see the ass because of the coat,
the
but
coat, yep.
We'll find out. He has a waistcoat that is like light blue and a salmon shirt underneath. A cravat, a white cravat that matches his pants. He looks at you with his earrings hanging there, and he just says,
I hope we get to keep the clothes.
And Charles is just staring at you, but like laughing in his head. And you just hear this.
Nope. No. Nope. Nope.
But like deadpan face. Just
No, I'm
laughing
not.
and
No.
knocking. And,
You hear in your head, nope, sorry, no, I know what you're going to say.
Yeah. But so Charles has this kind of like almost Hessian sack over him. And at that point he sort of like lifts an arm and it comes up and over the head and down it goes. And as it sort of falls down, you see the ridiculous outfit that Charles is wearing. He has these kind of like tight brown leather pants that kind of go up, and they're high-waisted to the point where they finish just below the nipple.
Yeah, gotcha.
And they're laced at the front from the chest all the way down to sort of the crutch. But very tight pants. Think Pirates of Penzance,
Gotcha.
Pirate King type pants.
Yeah.
He has these sort of boots that kind of go knee-high as well, and again, a darker kind of brown leather, and no shirt.
Nice.
But kind of this half cloak.
Yeah.
and it's adorned from like just below the nipple on a golden pin with gold chain running up to the other side at the neck, and it kind of goes down and covers one arm. And you see when he shifts that arm, he has a metal kind of guard, like armor, but just on one arm. It kind of goes from one side right down. It finishes in like a sharp gloved. Sort of gauntleted hand, and he sort of stands there, and it's at that moment that you notice, his sort of flowing locks and his hair are kind of wavy and whatnot. But they've given him these like dark circles under his eyes, and they're finished in this like really nice little cat eye. And you kind of do notice like little flecks of blue and red at the corners of his mouth, and he kind of awkwardly just sort of, no, I don't mind it either. Actually, the gauntlet is. It's interesting.
Whatever happens out there, you and my brother.
I've got your back.
Of course.
Don't lose sight of the prize here. Henning, we're here together. We'll get out of this. We always do.
Your wishful thinking is matched only by my careful pessimism.
And your amazing outfit.
No. The circle that we're on.
Yeah. Oh, starts to rise.
There is a center point that kind of opens, and we are lifted into the Ebonreach Entertainment Edifice.
We sort of look up as like sand and petals fall beside us.
And as we're raised into this arena, everything we can see seems to be tinged by almost a blacky purple, like a black light.
Ooh, yeah.
It takes but a moment for Henning to realize with his intelligence that we are in an arcane dome of sorts.
It takes a bit longer for Charles to realize with his intelligence.
The ground is adorned with petals and grass. It seems to be almost a field.
Ooh.
But beyond that, we see obsidian pillars at an angle around this almost 100 by 100 foot kind of arena. There seems to be a netting of blacky purple arcane energy around it. We see just beyond it a walkway with half a dozen guards stepping, and they're looking between us in the center there and out to what looks like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of spectators on tiered bleachers that ring around this entire arena. Imagine the Colosseum with a arcane ball in the middle that we are in the center of. We would look up and we would see a viewing platform. And where that viewing platform is, we would see the flamboyant figure of Rufus, the voice.
The voice.
And we would also see a tall, very well-dressed, very stoic-looking male drow figure who sits and gestures to Rufus. As Rufus kind of prepares to address the audience.
You see him take a swig from his goblet.
Henning would turn to Charles and say,
Well, let's put on a good show.
Hey, let's do our best.
As we stand in the center there, the wonderful Rufus, the voice, addresses the audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your evening's entertainment. We have for you tonight a most devious group. Scoundrels, scallywags, deviants. But most importantly, trappers. That's right. Yes. As the crowd goes wild around, just wrapped on every single word he says, his voice booming much louder than you would expect, and somehow echoing in this space. These trappers are a shady bunch. Not your usual good-willed ones. No. We caught them terrorizing downtown after they released one of their own beasts. That's right. We knew it was them all along. You see, we've known about these two for quite some time now. And Charles, at that point, just sort of wide-eyed stares at Henning and sort of like...
Henning turns back.
They know about us.
You hear in your head,
Yeah, go ahead.
and as we telepathically speak,
I fear we've made a terrible mistake. I thought this was based on what just happened, not on our entire portfolio.
Charles just sort of, without nodding, kind of nods. He kind of like does that whole eyebrow thing, and he's just sort of in your head. You hear, "We might be a little bit more fucked than I thought, but together we can face it. It's okay."
as you say, together we can face it. The ground rumbles, and as if we're on travelators, we are rolled to opposite ends of the arena as Rufus the Voice continues.
Now, what we have for you here today, folks, is something truly special. These battle brothers, these friends in combat, you see, they're going to be fighting not our regular kind of battle here. No. The beast is not for them to attack. The beasts they brought with them, they have their own way of attacking, and they will be using these beasts to attack each other.
There is a gasp in your mind, Charles, and
And there's a deafening roar from the crowd because they've only ever seen gladiators and petty criminals either fight each other or fight a beast. They've never seen people use beasts to fight against other beasts. And Rufus is just sort of in this moment, sort of arms gesturing high and sort of laughing and smiling as his coiffed hair kind of waves with like this lack of breeze in this sort of area, but that's just flowing naturally. And his cloak is just billowing magnificently. He sort of turns to the crowd and he says, "In this corner here, you see we have this Charles, this individual, this Midscar man. He is flowing and crackling with arcane energy, from whence he does not even know. He uses an array of beasts, and yet his friend here is of a more learned nature. Of course, we look across to this corner," and he sort of gestures, and the crowd's like collective heads sort of turn that way, and we see Henning Dilpen, a more learned individual who takes his magic from books and knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, now is your time to place your bets. They will each have but 4 creatures. To start with, however, we'll only have 1. We'll see which creature defeats which creature. And from there, the bets will be raised once more. Ladies and gentlemen, place your bets. And you see these sort of people, individuals walking through the crowd in blue robes with like a teal headband, and they're carrying boxes. And these boxes, they're exchanging gold for strips of paper. And each one of these people is in front of and behind of a separate Queen's Guard. So it's legalized, organized gambling here,
Indeed.
which is sanctioned by the Crown.
Yeah, beautiful.
And you imagine that they'll be taking a large cut of any profits from this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you see, I don't know, what do you reckon? I want you to roll a percentage dice.
I can do that. Oh, I'm going
and-
to go with my big silver ones.
The first one is, this is the percentage of people that are going to bet on you to win.
Okay. Here we go. That would be 79.
79% of people, I'm going to describe it as this. They hear about our backstories. They hear briefly about me having an unknown arcane energy, but not knowing where it's from. Hearing that you are arcane knowledge-based and that you have learned your skills, they're going to have a greater belief in your abilities.
Excellent. 21%, Charles.
21% to me. So, I'm not going to lie, Charles is a little hurt at that. And I will say that there's like a big...
Like arcane skywriting billboard.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone's there using Skywrite to, give not a blow by blow, but like just give like the base stats.
There's a number of sorcerers that are doing these skywriting
Exactly.
to make sure they get enough, and there is essentially an arcane scoreboard on the back wall there. Yeah, absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah.
And so once this is sort of happening, we can kind of like survey the immediate area, and sort of Charles starts fidgeting with his headband and he's trying to think of what to do first, because this changes things. Not the betting, not the scenario, but more the the fact that we're fighting against each other. We knew that a few of our monsters might die, but we had assumed that we would be fighting
together.
Yeah. And it's interesting because we do know each other's strengths and weaknesses, but
we have captured so many monsters.
I can't
over the
remember what
years.
you've got. So
Henning will look across and just kind of tap into you and be like, "It is a show, remember? Just a show, nothing more."
And Charles just sort of nods his head, looks at you and says, "Of course, my friend. That's all it is."
You watch as Henning kind of reaches up to touch his earring, touching one of the beads, one of the other beads. With that, can I get you to roll 2 sets of initiative?
Ooh.
The first one will be for yourself.
Ooh.
The second one will be for whatever creature you're going to pop out.
Ooh.
So for myself, that is a 15.
For myself, that is a 9.
Excellent. A 9 for you. Do you know which creature you're pulling out?
Now, we've got 4 creatures each. Should we just roll a d4 and see which one comes out first? Because I've got mine in an order here.
Yeah.
In my little encounter builder. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could roll a d4 and just see which one comes out. Which would be funny if it was our strongest creature versus the other person's weakest creature.
My number 2 was what I was going to pick anyway.
Oh, there you go. Number 3 for me.
Okay. Can you go ahead and roll initiative for that creature?
Yes, I can.
Oh, my goodness.
Ooh.
Yeah?
19.
18. Ooh. Excellent. So, as the two of us stand there, you watch as Henning, first of all, whips across to another earring and kind of almost pulls the earring from his ear and flicks a little ball, a little rune out. As the rune comes out, it warps out into a portal disc, and as it kind of frisbees out, a displacer beast jumps out from it and lands on the ground in the center there. As it lands in the center, you can see its tendrils up there in the air. It kind of starts to whip its bits and pieces around there. That's going to bring us down to Charles.
Ooh. And as Charles sort of watches this, he sort of nods solemnly, and you see this hand sort of go up and cover half his face as he grabs the third from his left eye backwards, the third metal disc, and pulls it from his headband and frisbees it towards the center. Just as you hear the voice of Rufus saying, "And with that we begin!" The disc lands roughly 30 feet ahead, and almost like Ant-Man growing suddenly from nothing, just disappears this Thrycreen. As it bursts forth, standing sort of nice and tall.
Excellent. As the Thrycreen and the Displacer Beast are there, kind of stepping back and forth, prowling around, there would be a sharp kind of piercing noise, and you would watch as the dome turns transparent. We can still see the netting, but it is now fully viewable, and we get a full view of the audience. As that happens, at the very top of the round, the Thrycreen is going to go first. You can see on the other side, I'm focusing. We have battled these things before, battled creatures before. We're not quite sure of the full scope of what happens, what could happen here, but we begin with our first 2 creatures.
Ooh.
What would you like to do?
Gosh, this is exciting.
This is such a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. The first thing is that the Thrycreen is going to sort of look around, and you see the exoskeleton kind of like jerk side to side as this almost praying mantis looking creature with like the head of a wasp. It just sort of like takes in the atmosphere, glances briefly behind it towards Charles, and kind of gives this cry and then like shakes, and as its body vibrates, you see it sort of almost split into multiple creatures, and it sort of starts to sort of shake as it casts blur on itself.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And with that, it's going to rush forward another, say, 20 feet.
Yeah.
So it's right in the very center.
Yeah.
Based on where it was cast.
Dead center of the ring, yeah.
Dead center of the ring, and it's sort of like shaking as it sort of looks around, and it's vibrating at this like frequency that just like creates this kind of low pitch kind of
Beautiful.
like a mozzie that's somewhere in your bedroom.
Anything. Excellent. Anything else you want to do?
No, that's his go.
Beautiful. We come to the Displacer Beast. The Displacer Beast, as the Thrycreen approaches, it immediately kind of shimmers and another Displacer Beast pops out. We've essentially got disadvantage on all our attacks against each other for now. The Displacer Beast turns and you watch as both of them turn around, and Henning just kind of nods and says, "It's okay." It turns back and kind of stalks towards the Thrycreen. It is going to kind of go back and forth.
Do you want to use a secondary token for your...
Nah, we know it's a disadvantage. It's gonna stay 10 feet away over to here. And as it stays 10 feet away, it is going to make 2 attacks with its tentacles.
Oh, that's right, your reach.
At disadvantage. So it moves forward 5 feet. The first attack is a 10.
That's going to miss.
Second attack is a nat 1.
Also going to miss.
You watch as it whips out. Has the Thrycreen got a melee attack?
It does, yes.
Can you just roll the damage dice without the modifier? As the tentacle whips out, trying to hit you, it catches on something sharp, possibly a claw.
Yeah.
And you manage to just you manage to do 6 points of damage straight up with that nat 1. As it whips out, you rake along its arm there. It immediately is going to move back. So move forward 5. It's going to move back 5, 10, 15, 20... 25, 30, 35, 40, and it kind of steps back in towards the corner there, kind of moving away right up against the side, and as it bumps the side, you just see this ripple of Arcana as it kind of moves away, a little bit miffed there. Excellent. That is going to bring us down to Henning. Henning is going to look at the creature and just say... is going to look at your creature and just say, look across at you and say, "We're here to put on a show, are we not?"
Of course.
And he is...
What do you think we're here for?
He is going to take out a bit of crust from like an apple pie that we had right before we got in here, rub it in his hands and blow it as a 20-foot cube appears. And as that appears, you watch as Arcana starts to swirl around. The start of each of your turns, I'm going to roll a d4.
Ooh.
Okay. I will tell you what to do. Or can you make a wisdom saving throw for your Thrycreen?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
Let's go, Thrycreen. Let's go.
The DC is 15.
Wisdom, you say?
Yeah.
That's a 12.
A 12. The smell of apple pie fills the air, and your creature is now charmed by me until the start of my next turn.
Oh,
and I say to it, "Do not attack. Make it look like you're going to attack, but do not attack.
Okay.
Do not strike." That is going to bring us down to you. Let me mark off that spell, and I'm now concentrating.
Amazing. So that's now Charles's.
That brings us down to Charles, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, God, I've gone about that the wrong way, haven't I?
Yeah, just sit on top.
Sitting
Yeah,
on top
that's
of
it.
it. That's brilliant.
If you're going to cast a concentration spell.
True. I will in a minute. I've got to get that to me. Yeah, so in that moment, very cool.
It's too fun.
It really is. Charles is going to... Because... this is interesting because there has been an attack that's happened.
Yeah.
All right, so Charles instead is going to sort of, again, look around and just sort of try to take stock of where all the guards are. But he's sort of waving his arms around in front of him, putting on the show of focusing on what the creature's doing, making it look like he is directly controlling them.
So there are 3 along each side, essentially. There's more guards up with the Chancellor, but there are 3 guards kind of evenly spaced. There's nothing around the back of us and nothing around the back of you, but along these longer oblong sides, there are 3 Queen's Guard.
Nice.
Yeah. You hear in your head, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking we're not in the best position. Perhaps if we rotate and get these guards behind us. And so I'm going to start to march my way, my full movement on a diagonal and start to try to close the gap. So obviously we're end to end of this oval at the moment. We're quite far away and we're trying to move around to the narrower points. So number 1, we're going to be closer together. But number 2, the guards are then going to be behind us so that we could maybe...
Yeah, gotcha.
We can figure out a way to break through the barrier.
Absolutely, yeah.
And while doing that, I am going to... with this sort of... now, can you describe to me this cube?
It is a 20-foot by 20-foot cube.
Yep.
It seems to have a swirling, shimmering arcana to it, like a haze. You can still see through it, but it's almost like the blur spell.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it is able to be seen through. Yeah. But it is a full cube.
Now I'm going to, as I move across, I'm going to use just a cantrip, and I'm going to cast Gust towards it to see if I can just shunt it slightly to make it look like I'm trying to remove whatever it is that you put there.
As you push that gust through it, it blows through, and some of the energy pushes out. You gather if there was maybe a guard within 10 feet, it might affect him briefly, but unfortunately it stays still where it is while I'm concentrating.
Nice. Very good.
Yeah.
Excellent. And I will get to that point and end my turn, and just in your head, and just sort of go, come on, man. Send them both in. Make something fancy happen.
Okay. Brings us round to the Thrycrane's turn, as it is charmed by what I said.
Thrycrane. Yes, the Thrycrane is charmed. And you want it to make it look like it's attacking, but not actually attacking.
That's what I asked it to do with the charmed effect.
Absolutely. So with its long jump, it has a 30-foot long jump.
Oh.
So it's going to just leap.
Springs out of the mischief.
Yeah.
It's still
with
charmed.
kind of like a shrill.
Yeah.
As it sort of leaps towards your creatures.
Yeah.
Your Displacer Beast, and it's...
You wanted to get right up on it?
Yeah. It's 30 feet.
Yeah, right up on it.
To the point where it's like it's landed on it.
Yeah.
And the tentacles are kind of like snapping around it.
Yeah.
And with that, it's going to try to make bite attacks, deliberately missing.
Yeah.
But trying to like holding one of the tentacles and going to bite at it and then moving it like it's the tentacle that's moved, but it actually moved it out.
Can you make a charisma check using the Thrycrane's charisma, please? Just a flat charisma check. Unless it's got performance or persuasion, but I doubt it does.
It does not.
Yep.
Ooh. 16 minus 2, 14.
Ooh, it is pretty convincing, but it's like WWE convincing. You know, when there's sometimes a hit that you're like, ooh, fuck, that actually really hurt. Yeah. It kind of tries to sink its teeth in, and it doesn't quite work. You hear kind of a few mutters and gasps from the audience. You see a rolling of eyes, and you see the Chancellor lean in towards Rufus, and just mutter something about, let them know what's at stake. Anything else your Thrycrane wants to do?
No, at that point it's done its leap forward, and it's a multi-attack, so it's made several kind of like snarling bite attack attempts.
Yeah. That's going to bring us down to the Displacer. The Displacer Beast is going to try to shove your Thrycrane away.
Ooh, nice.
So I'll do that with disadvantage. Oh, well, I'll keep that. That's a 10. And an 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Can you make an athletics check or acrobatics? I need you to beat a 22, please.
Ooh. So that's strength, isn't it? Yeah.
Nope. Oh, sorry. Disadvantage, so that's a 14. We've got to beat a 14.
Oh, I rolled and I didn't. Oh, at disadvantage. I roll at disadvantage?
No, I roll a
Just you.
disadvantage because you're shimmering. You're
No,
blowing.
I got a 12.
Okay. You get pushed back 10 feet, which is going to get you right to the edge of that, but you're not quite in the mischief. 5, 10, so there.
Yep.
Excellent. And the Displacer Beast is going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and just be kind of galloping, like trying to take you for a lap around. As it ends its turn, I am then going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 to there, start to make my way around, and I'm going to use my action to do the same. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and kind of make my way around to the flatter end as I follow the ring around, running, Displacer Beast kind of following along behind me. I glance up at the kind of over behind you is where the Game Master is, and I can see the Game Master kind of scheming and plotting. I send a telepathic message saying,
I think it's not just you versus I think we may be versus a public opinion. Court of public opinion.
Charles, in that moment, sort of seeing you run around, seeing the Displacer Beast sort of move, and then just sort of seeing your eyes flick upwards at the time, knows exactly what you mean.
Okay.
He's just going to be like, alright, well, keep your wits about you. And he is going to move his movement to the far side.
excellent.
As well. At that moment, ooh, shitballs. Yeah, here we go. Now, remind me again, are there any... the light here is more arcane, there's no flame.
No flame in this area,
No
unless
flame
we
in
conjure it,
Yep. As for... there's no water in this area.
No water in this area, no. Your creature gets its... is no longer charmed.
Yes, now that it's out of the thing. Yeah. So it's going to do my...
Bidding.
I'm actually going to run right up to it.
Yeah.
You know what? No, I'm not. I'll wait there. And I'll hold my action to cast a spell when my creature was within range.
Of you.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm going to make a noise as a callback.
Okay, yeah.
So I run forward, I get to that halfway sort of mark.
It's within 30 feet.
It's within 30 feet.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. This spell has a range of touch.
Gotcha.
And I'm going to do a vocal recall.
Yeah, okay. Nice.
And I'm going to hold my spell.
Excellent. At the end of the round / the top of the next round, the crowd are restless. No blood has been drawn. It's only been a couple of seconds, but one creature's running from the other was very clearly faking it. What would Rufus do or say?
So far, the way it's been sort of announced has been not lackluster. It was, out of the gates was quite exciting because these almost Pokeballs were thrown in before the crowd was aware that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Rufus didn't have time to announce this, and he's had to sort of scramble to make it make sense. He's gone, I see our competitors have selected, and away we go! And that kind of led into this battle so far.
Yeah.
And he's trying to sort of give a blow by blow, and the Thrycreen versus the Displacer Beast, two tricky creatures, and it's a miss, and sort of just trying to explain these blow by blows, like it's poor form. Perhaps these creatures are friends, and they don't wish to hurt each other. That is shockingly poor taste. Let's mix things up a bit, shall we? They look a bit too comfortable in there. And you sort of see Rufus sort of waves his arm around and then lifts his palm up into the air, and these pillars of rock, roughly 10 feet across, just start lifting at various intervals. If you can grab out a couple of those and just scatter them amongst the ground. And these are going to be at different heights. Intervals anywhere from 10 feet up in the air to, say, 30 feet up in the air. And suddenly there's pillars that you can hide behind or climb up and leap off.
Okay.
Like these stone, earthen pillars that have just kind of like protruded forth. And it just sort of adds a bit more height to the map. And you can see one of them has landed directly under Charles, and it's shunted him up, let's say, 10 feet. 10 feet up into the air. And so Charles is kind of like awkwardly, almost losing his balance. Yeah, there we go. That'll be perfect for that. So he's now, there we go, 10 feet off the ground. And he kind of like catches his balance. He almost tumbled off the edge. And you can sort of, he looks and sees Henny's eyes just sort of like follow upwards. And just this kind of mischievous laughter from the crowd as it's like, oh, it's caught him off guard. Oh, he's almost fallen over. What a cunt. Ah. And just like these like interactions, and you sort of see people like, you know, we cut across to the other side of the stadium, and you see sort of walking through there, you know, offering drinks and beverages and snacks.
Yeah.
Cracker Jack, you want hot dog? You want purple worm Twizzlers?
I'll take four purple worm Twizzlers.
Right, that will be 4 silver.
That's 4 silver, yes. Oh, my dad, look at these things. The crowd's kind of like starting to get into it now because they know what to expect. They know the pillars are going to be random. They're going to know what might come next. But that brings us back down to the battle at hand.
The Thrycreen.
Now, the Thrycreen, annoyingly, I've fucked myself
yourself,
a little bit.
yeah. It's good. I like it.
He's got movement and he's got this this leap, this innate ability to sort of just fucking leap as far as he fucking wants. So he's going to run upwards and sort of like leap and sort of cling on to the base of
the
this rock. And just sort of get risen into the air as well. And at that moment, Charles is going to reach down and cast his prepared spell, which is Enhance Ability.
Nice.
And I am going to just make a quick roll here.
Yeah.
Because this particular ability is enhanced with the addition of 2d6 temporary hit points.
Oh, beautiful. That's what you want.
That's what you want. We've got a 5 and a 1.
6.
6.
Nice.
Nice midpoint there. That's good.
That's nice.
So with 6 additional hit points, Thrycreen is going to feel a bit stronger. It has advantage on its constitution checks now, as it has bear's endurance. And you kind of just see like this sort of sigil of a bear just kind of like roar around it. But the creature's kind of like once more, and it's going to sort of drop to the ground and then sprint, this time making it look like he's sprinting directly towards our friend across the map. 5, 10.
Oh, I didn't roll for that, sorry. I'll tell you what that is. As he enters the mischief, he would need to make a dexterity saving throw as flowers appear in the air and start to smother his face.
I like it. $15
is the DC. As he wipes and narrowly avoids being blinded, he makes it. He can go wherever he wants at this point.
Amazing. Well, he
gets to there.
He gets there. He finished
Beautiful.
his turn in the square.
Excellent.
But he kind of like, when he dropped down, he turned, his head turned 180 before he dropped.
Yeah.
Kind of like an owl, and just sort of clocked you, and then dropped to the ground, and then his body spun. His head didn't move. His body spun around, and then it just ran in that
Nice.
direction.
Very nice.
Sort of claws and
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
extremities kind of up, like...
Yeah. There is a... on the force field behind Henning. Henning kind of turns his head and one of the guards is there. The guard kind of looks up at the Chancellor and looks at Henning and says, You wanna try a bit harder, or you and your friend are gonna get killed. Can you roll a persuasion for me?
Ooh. 12 on the dice.
That's a 9 for me. Where are we? Okay. Okay. Henning is going to frown and look over at you.
And I'm up, so you'd sight eye line, so...
He's just going to shake his head and say, We're going to have to break a few eggs. And he's going to go. And the Displacer Beast is going to... I'm getting rid of that. I don't need that. We know he has disadvantage.
Okay.
Yeah. Is going to 5, 10, 15 dexterity saving throw for my own spell. That's a 19 on the dice for a total of 21.
Yep.
He's going to try to jump up that central pillar.
Okay.
That is an 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 for athletics, or 13 for acrobatics, whatever you think would be best.
I'll allow it.
Beautiful. Jumps up and jumps down onto the thrycrane.
Yeah.
As it lands down onto the thrycrane, that's less than 40 foot of walkies. It's going to make 2 attacks at disadvantage, I believe. Still blurred.
Yes, still blood.
The first one is an 8.
Misses.
The second one is a 6.
Also misses.
Whips out at it, no luck there, and just lands right in front of it in the mischief there.
I like that the swirling mists and then sort of like flashes that are happening within this square don't quite show these two creatures, but you will see an arm or a tentacle whip out and punch inwards, and you'll hear the kind of the shrill cries and the of the Thrycrane, and the Displacer Beast's kind of low growls and like high pitched kind of as and it looks like there's a lot going on there. You know, there's like cartoon battles, where there's a blurrish ball of just and just an arm and the leg.
Exactly.
I like to think that that's what's going on inside.
Excellent.
But you can't see much.
Beautiful. That is going to bring us down to Henning. Henning is going to drop the mischief. Fuck. Is going to drop the mischief.
Yep.
Since his creature's in there. He is then going to... drop a... That's all he's going to do. He's going to say... You can see him holding on to the potential for a spell, but then drops it and just looks up at you. What's there? Oh, looks up at you and just kind of nods as if to say, let's just fucking... We have more than one. It'll be sad, but we need to put on a show. No holds barred for these two. I'm sorry.
And exactly that. Charles just says, you took the words right out of my mouth. I'm sad to see him go, but I'd like to see us stay.
Excellent. That brings us down to your turn.
Okay, so with that, Charles is going to stay atop this slight balancy issue.
No, you're good.
But he's going to have a look around the crowd and see that they're kind of like cheering, but kind of slightly bored. And he's just going to like, you know, with a nod, he's going to throw a little cantrip. Actually, he's going to try something. On the outside of this dome, do I see any sconces, any flames, anything burning on the outside of the arcane dome that we're in?
You do. You would see that there are sconce lights that are kind of under the walkways that lead out that audience would go down and walk out of.
Well, if there's one that's close enough, because I'd be back almost up against the arcane thing.
Right up against the wall.
I'm going to drop a hand low and just looking behind me, I'm just going to try to see if I can control flame on the other side of the dome.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an Arcana check for me.
Cool. I am proficient with that. Ooh. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
You push through the arcane barrier. You gather that this kind of arcane barrier is set at a certain level.
Threshold.
A certain threshold. And as you reach out, you manage to make one of the lights flicker. You can't see it. You just see Henning kind of looking over your shoulder, and you watch as Henning's face goes from like, what are you doing, to like, oh shit, it worked.
Yeah. I would be looking at him while I do that, and I'd have my hand down and just sort of trying to make it known that things could be manipulated on the outside, potentially.
With a high enough check,
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So that's my thing.
Beautiful.
That's my duty.
Excellent. Brings us back to the top of the round with the Thrycrane.
Oh, Thrycrane, buddy. Here we go. There's like a small squeak and a click from Charles. Just a... And this almost look of hunger appears on the Thrycrane's face. It knows now to attack. To attack properly. It is going to make 2 attacks of a multi-attack.
Okay.
First up, it's going to...
First one with disadvantage,
Yeah, with disadvantage, it's going to rake its claws upwards.
Nice.
And try to see if it can get purchase on the beast.
Nice.
16 or a 17? I'll take the 16.
16 will hit, and your next attack doesn't
plus
have...
3.
Yeah,
So it'll be
absolutely
19.
hits. Yeah. And that shimmering, that double image of the Displacer Beast drops.
Oh, amazing. So it like shunts the beast back into 1.
Beautiful.
This first attack is going to be 2d4 plus 1 slashing damage.
Nice.
6 points of slashing damage.
Nice.
As it kind of reaches in a long claw and just sort of slits
it up,
upwards from like the torso up towards the neck of
Nice.
this Displacer Beast.
Nice.
And you sort of see Charles just kind of like wince a little bit as that happens.
Excellent.
And as soon as that happens, as soon as the beast sort of lifts its head in kind of like a roar of pain, the Thrycrane kind of with its beak
Goes in.
pinches in
Beautiful.
and bites towards the jugular.
Yeah.
And just with a normal attack.
Yeah, flat roll.
That's a 16 plus 3
Yeah,
again.
it definitely hits.
Now, this is an interesting one here. Okay, so it's going to take some piercing damage.
Yeah.
So it's a d6. So it's 5 plus 1 is a 6.
6 damage?
6 points of damage.
Excellent.
Now, I'm going to need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Absolutely. That is a 13.
You succeed.
Okay.
Nothing else happens. But knowing the Thrycrane, you knew what it was trying to do as it tried to pump venom and a certain amount of poison into this creature. You see the Displacer Beast kind of like resist it. And Thrycrane sort of like throws its head back and the pincers kind of like open up once more. And this blood splatter goes into the crowd. Some of it's splashing the dome and you see the dome kind of flash again and then there's nothing there.
Nice.
But the
Yeah,
blood just
cleans
kind of,
it off. Yeah,
the
yeah.
arterial spray kind of gets cleaned off.
Very nice. Very nice.
You hear this like crowd kind of cheer at that point, and Rufus say, "Finally, some action as we see the Thrycrane rip at the thorax of our Displacer Beast. What will happen next?"
As the Displacer Beast hits on in twice. God, that's a nat 20 on a disadvantage roll. The highest roll is a 15 to
15
hit.
is the AC.
Beautiful. So the first one misses, second one hits. As the second tentacle whips on in, 8 points of bludgeoning damage, 2 points of piercing damage. As it goes, rakes in. It is going to then dart away.
Now you notice as well that it was bolstered before with this temporary hit points, but it's lost those now.
Yeah.
And it's taken a little bit of damage.
If you want to go ahead and take him as far that way, 40 feet that way. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40.
Yeah,
Excellent.
right up-
Once again,
right up against the wall.
being used to skirmishing, hitting, and then running out of range that most creatures have, whereas Thrycrane actually can jump very, very far. But as it runs away, attack of opportunity if you wish.
Yes, it will take one. It will take a swipe. Again, I've rolled another 16.
Yeah, that'll hit.
That's
Go ahead and give me the damage.
And it's just going to be just a slash. Which is, of course, our 2d4. Ooh, 6 points of slashing damage once more as it kind of catches on the hind leg just near the paw as it kind of just gets out.
As it,
Now I'm going to roll a concentration check for the blur.
Yes,
to
please.
damage me.
Yeah.
So what did I get? I took
DC 10.
how many points of damage all up?
Sure. No.
Eight, no.
8 plus 2.
8 plus 2.
Yeah,
So
10.
10 points all up.
Yeah.
So what do I have to roll on the...
10.
I need to roll a 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. As 19.
Beautiful.
So Blur is still up.
Blur is
You
up.
see the Thrycrane as it kind of like leans back and you hear that kind of shrill once more. It kind of like shudders and you see this Blur kind of taking effect again.
Nice. As that happens, you're going to watch as... How many times can I do this? As many times as I want. You're going to watch as I can do this as many times as I want. Hang on, let me double check
Beasts are
this.
fucked up, aren't they?
No, I'm looking at my...
Oh, at you.
I'm going to... You're going to watch as I start to weave my hands together and kind of crush them. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm going to run 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm going to run forward into the fray, splay my hands as the Thrycrane kind of like turns towards me. I'm going to adjust density and I'm going to... for up to 1 minute. Until your concentration ends. Yeah, beautiful. Excellent. I'm going to adjust density on the creature. and I'm going to weigh it down. Its speed is reduced by 10 feet.
Nice. Nice. And we'll just say that straight up reduces all of my jumps and things like that as well.
Okay, yeah. And you kind of sink into the ground a little bit as I hold my concentration on that. That is going to be Henning's turn.
Well, it's an interesting thing as well, because that's essentially he's back to normal, because he had Bear's endurance. So he had advantage on some of those things. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah. But you see the crowd start to go wild as they see the human run in closer than his creature is. And there is like a thirst, and everyone kind of on the edge of their seat waiting to see whether this creature will run into him or not.
I love it. Oh.
That's going to bring us down to Charles.
Charles is going to see that, and he sees Henning kind of run into the danger zone, and kind of Henning knows that I've taken the leash off the Thrycrane. Like, I've given it its code word.
Yeah.
And the only way to stop it is to put it back in the gem.
Yeah.
To put it back in its little metal clasp, its little prison. And I see you run forward, and I kind of close my eyes for a brief second, and I go, you idiot. And I want to end this quickly. So you see... I look across towards this Displacer Beast once more. 60 feet. And I'm going to jump down from my little 10-foot high pillar.
Just give me a little DC 10 strength saving throw.
I'm so weak. It's a 1.
It's a nat 1?
No, sorry, it's a 7. It's a 7.
A 7. Okay.
-1 for a 6.
Okay.
Do I break my other ankle?
Do you think that you would be injured or fall prone?
I'd fall prone.
Okay. You fall prone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not used to this cape that's draped off one side.
Yes,
and I go to leap, but I step on my left foot, and my left foot stands on the cape, and I go to jump, and I go... pull myself down.
You fall down, you look up, and you see that Rufus is just shaking his head. He knows how to work a cape.
And you see his cape just billows once more.
Yeah.
And he makes a comment. He's like, oh no, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like our poor friend has fallen. And we see the bets adjust a little bit more across in your favor. And they're going to take another 4% to you.
Excellent. 83.
You son of a bitch. So Charles has fallen, and you know what? I'm going to use half my speed to stand back up, and I'm going to take a step to the side and just skirting the corner.
Yeah.
You know what? No, not enough. I'm going to take a step inwards instead.
Yeah.
To get... Sorry, you probably missed all of that. I'm going to take a step inwards instead of outwards, just to get enough of a sight line of you. I am going to put myself closer to the Thrycrane, but being the creature that I captured, I would know that I would have a little bit more of a chance to survive against it. And I'm going to look across, and I'm going to take a slither of your Displacer Beast's mind.
Okay.
And I'd like you to roll an intelligence saving throw.
Yeah, absolutely.
As I look at the creature, and I just sort of think, come on, kitty.
That is a 6.
It fails. So it's this mind slither spikes in the back of its brain and just causes immense pain. And I'm just trying to get it to be not where it is. I'm trying to force it to move from there by associating pain with where
that
it
area.
currently is. And it's a common training tool that we would use with these creatures. We would inflict pain if they're in a certain area psychically. It's almost like a shock collar.
Yeah, that's your method of doing it.
That's my method of doing it. It's very much my method of doing it.
Yeah. Mine is more rewards-based.
You take 6 points of psychic damage. Yeah, 100%. The two different methods of dog training here, folks.
Excellent.
By the way, I love dogs and all animals.
No one's going to assume that you're...
I'm really good. I hate
Follow
shock
Tim
collars.
on socials, and you know he loves animals.
Dogs. All dogs.
You would see that the Displacer Beast is looking a little bruised now.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to look a little... Yep. Okay. And again, as I do this, it's like it's almost imperceptible, but this like my left eye just wells up as I cause that pain that I don't want to cause, but it's just like
okay.
That's Tim in person, not in game.
Yes. Is that's you visually cast that? You didn't do any trickery to hide that, yeah?
No, that was a visual cast. That was for the audience.
Yeah. The Displacer Beast definitely kind of swings its head to you.
Yeah.
Quite unhappy with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. And I'll just be like, all right, here a kitty.
Okay, beautiful. That brings us round to the our announcer, but our Thrycreen up next.
Amazing. The announcer's like, he sees this, and he sees that now the humans are getting involved, and he's very excited. He's like, excellent. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like our little trick has worked, and now the humans are more involved. Shall we say, level the playing field once more? And he lowers his hands, and all of the pillars disappear once more. And suddenly, we're much closer to these creatures than we would want to be.
Ooh.
Because there's nothing in between us anymore.
Yeah.
So, whereas before there were 2 pillars in between Charles and
It's
the
all
Displacer
flat
Beast, it's
now.
all flat
Excellent.
now.
Beautiful.
And it's a straight shoot.
Excellent.
And yeah.
What would the Thrycreen like to do as we jump
the
around?
Thrycreen is... If you got a coin I can toss. Oh, you know what? We'll do a D20.
I do.
Oh, you do? You've got a coin? Yep. Amazing. Because I want to toss a coin because there are now... there's multiple enemies on the map. And I want... Talking coins here.
The good news about this coin is that one side has the queen,
I love that.
the other side has a skull.
Ooh.
So I am assuming if there's a skull, it's going to go for a human.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Sounds good.
Ooh.
Oh, no, it's not the skull.
That is the queen's head.
That is the queen's head.
What
So
does the Thrycreen do?
the Thrycreen is
Reduced speed.
reduced speed by 10 feet.
Yeah,
It
which
has a
brings
hefty movement speed of 40 feet normally.
Yeah.
So it's not that much slower.
Yeah.
Let's say its 30 feet jump is now 20 feet. Mm-hmm. So it's going to move its 30 feet. But along the way, it's going to jump. So when it
Beautiful.
gets to 20 feet away, it's going to leap, landing right in front of it.
Nice.
Now it's again just going to...
Go nuts.
Yeah, it's going to go nuts. As it runs forward, though, you notice that the Thrycreen, its carapace changes colour. And it's kind of going to start to match the colour of the ground. It was originally trying to change its colour to match the pillars, but now they're gone. So almost like a chameleon, from the legs upwards, it starts sort of becoming more of a greeny kind of colour as it runs into the grassy area. And it leaps forth, and it's going to make these 2 attacks once more.
Disadvantage because at the end of my turn, I
Yes.
back out
Also
my...
back to disadvantage. Nice.
Yes.
Oh, that's not even a D20. My bad.
You roll on a D12?
I was rolling a D12. Just that time. I shifted the order of my dice. That's the exact same roll. That's a 1. And a 13 for the first attack. An 11. And a 12. So...
The
14.
The 14 will hit. 13 is the AC, yeah.
Hey, there you go. So the 14 is the bite attack.
Beautiful.
So I'm going to need you to make another
Con save?
con save for me.
Excellent.
As it takes
ooh.
5 points of piercing damage.
5 points of piercing.
As it once
Excellent.
more reaches forward. This time I'd like to think the tentacle's whipping around in front, and it just bites into the tentacle.
Yeah, it bites a
big.
tentacle. The con save is a big fat 5.
Ooh. Okay, this is going to be fun.
This isn't
You're going to be poisoned for the next 1 minute.
beautiful.
Now, you failed the saving throw by 5 or more.
If it allows...
So that means that you are also paralyzed while
Ooh,
poisoned.
nice.
So
Very nice.
the saving throw was an 11. You rolled a 5. So you failed by 6.
Yes. It takes no damage.
The poison target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself with a success. But you are currently paralyzed and poisoned. Yeah,
Hacking off the creature. Yeah, nice.
that was what I was hoping for.
Excellent. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Anything else the Thrycreen wants to do?
No, it's just going to sort of... That's its movement. That's its everything.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
The Displacer Beast is going to be there, frozen in place. Its tendrils kind of seized up.
Sort of held between the jaw of the thigh.
Yeah, it's like its muscles have seized up. End of its turn. What is it, con?
Con.
14, 15, 16, 17.
Oh, yeah. It breaks free.
It breaks free almost instantly, but it cannot do much more as we come round to Henning's turn. Henning is going to look at all this happening. Is going to drop concentration on his adjust density, and he is going to. He is going to cast blindness
Ooh.
I might have to get closer. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, I'm going to walk in, get right to the edge there, and cast... no, I can keep concentration on adjust density. Yeah. A con saving throw, please, from the Thrycreen.
Ooh.
As I cast...
Now I have advantage on these with Bearer's Endurance.
checks, not saving throws.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Sorry, sir. Here I am.
I get to whip out my DM now. Yeah, I believe. Double check the wording, but I think it's only
double
checks.
check the wording. Not that I don't trust you. But advantage on Constitution checks.
Yeah,
so
which is an oversight in my opinion. I
think so too.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's all good. So I'm going to allow it.
Great. Good to know.
Just a single roll. It's not great. It was a 4.
Your Thrycreen is now blinded. Double check it doesn't have any other senses, but tremor sense? No.
No, it's got dark vision.
Well, yeah.
It's
Vision goes absolutely black there as I
you hear this kind of shrill kind of shriek from it.
I need to mark that off as well. Excellent. I look across at you and just kind of shrug. Your speed is still minus 10. But yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
That's going to bring us down to you, Charles.
Amazing. Well, amazing. So Charles, after that, that move, Charles is first of all going to drop his concentration on his enhance ability because those temporary hit points are already gone.
Yep, that's fair. That's very fair.
So at this point, sort of looking into the crowd once more, we've kind of moved away, but we're kind of both heading towards the same area.
Yeah, moving back towards that
moving
side
back
there.
towards that point. Charles kind of wants the creature to get the kill still. He wants the Thrycreen to win. So he's not going to do too much. Just another Mind Slither. Nothing too crazy, but he's going to try to hit the creature with like a dazing Mind Slither. And so I'm just going to roll a quick...
Yeah.
Oh, that was pretty bad. No, that's going to miss. That's only a 6.
Is a Mind Sliver a saving throw?
Oh, no, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Plus, I also didn't attack my... I added the wrong things anyway, but yes.
What'd you do? You can change it. What were you going to...
No, we'll rewind.
Okay.
Mind Slither. That's the one.
That is a 16 on the dice for a total of...
Oh, that's a save.
No, hang on. Was it wisdom or
intelligence?
No, 16, 15, 14.
Oh, hello. That's right. We're using creatures with a 10 or with a lower than 10 intelligence. And that was kind of the rule for the game today.
Absolutely.
Is that we had to pick creatures with a lower than 10 intelligence. Well, then it fails. And it is just going to see this flash of like a blinding light in its eye as it takes this psychic damage.
Beautiful.
So 6 points again.
Okay, yeah, it's looking
of psychic damage.
It's looking not badly hurt, but it is looking pretty bruised, getting towards bloodied.
Yeah,
as it kind of screeches and.
The Thrycreen. And I'm going to shift forward, but also around. So 30.
Excellent.
So, yeah, a bit closer than I would normally want to be to a cornered Displacer Beast.
Beautiful.
But I am confident in the abilities of my Thrycreen.
Excellent. It wasn't hit by attack, so it's still displacing.
That's right. It wasn't hit by an attack.
Technically,
That's true. That's very true.
Thrycreen's still compressed a little bit. And also, what was the other thing I did? Already forgot. Blinded.
It is too, isn't it? So it's already at disadvantage.
I missed.
It's already at disadvantage. So it's just going to make 2 wild attacks.
Beautiful. Go for it.
The first one.
Yeah.
16 and a 14.
Okay, for a total of
17.
That hits. First one hits.
Okay, first one.
Loses its displacement, but still at disadvantage.
But still disadvantage.
Yeah.
There was a 13.
Okay.
And a 17.
Both hit.
So for 16 and...
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Amazing. So it still manages... And it's fair enough, because it's right in front of it.
It gets its claws in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And with the kind of... With this particular creature, like, it's got long carapace-covered arms. And it's kind of like... It kind of got into this point where it had sort of almost popped its arms around this creature before it was blinded.
Picture them like Scyther, you know? Scyther's got those.
Exactly, and it's got those little hook things. Okay, so it's going to first attack with its claws.
Yeah, go for it. Give me.
Again, it sort of rakes in this claw and it digs in, and it's going to hit just above the shoulder blade.
Okay.
So we've got 6 points of piercing damage as this claw kind of just presses and pushes deep into the back of the Displacer Beast.
Yeah.
And I'm going to need another Constitution saving throw from you.
That's a 16 on the dice for a 20.
That
for a 19.
That saves. So it again just pushes that poison straight out. That is a 6 on the dice with a +1 for 7 points of piercing damage.
Looking bruised and beaten. Still not bloodied yet, but looking bruised and beaten.
Nice.
Yeah. Excellent. Anything else you want to do there?
The Thri-Crane's just going to sort of hold position.
Okay.
And it's still blinded, but it's just there, and it's just going to kind of like hem it in.
Yeah.
Or fence it in a little bit. You know?
Beautiful. The Displacer Beast is going to freak out and just lash out at disadvantage. Still blurred?
Yes, still blurred. Hasn't had
But a flat roll because it's blinded.
Yeah.
Disadvantage plus advantage. Yeah, so it's a flat roll.
Flat roll, yeah.
Okay, here we go. First one is a 14.
Just misses.
Okay. And a son of a bitch, a 10.
Again, misses.
The Displacer Beast is freaking out, slashing away. It is going to dart around the outside. 1, 2, 3, 4, and turn.
Is that out of its range? Because Thri-Crane only has a 5-foot range. So if you're staying within 5 feet, fine.
I'm going to move.
Okay. So it's going to make a wild swing at you.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Disadvantage. That's a 2.
Yeah.
Or an 11.
Yeah,
2.
miss. And the Displacer Beast is now looking hurt, but kind of prowling around the Thri-Crane right now. That is going to bring us down to Henning. Henning is going to, while concentrating on the gravity, while blinding your creature, is now going to kind of curl his hand around and pull. And he's going to use Magnify Gravity with the first level spell slot and pull your creature into the ground a little bit more. Con saving throw, please.
Con saving throw. 16.
16. That is a save. So you're going to take 10 points halved to 5. 5 points of force damage. Your speed is now halved again.
Halved or because previously it was...
Oh, sorry. No. So you're minus 10.
Yep.
Whatever that number is. You succeeded. Okay. So no, you're not reduced by speed. Yep.
Okay.
Any object requires a strength check for you to pick up. There's no objects there. Excellent.
Cool.
So you were almost going to be forced down to 15-foot speed, but you are fine.
Okay.
Excellent. As you're pulled down, that gravity, Magnify Gravity sits there. That's going to bring us down to Charles.
Cool. I'm going to need that coin again for the Thri-Crane's next turn.
Yeah.
Because that's now you attacking the Thri-Crane a few times.
You can't see shit.
Yeah, I know he can't, but he can... Yeah, he can feel. He can feel.
No.
Charles, at that point, Charles is sort of noticing that you're going after my creature more than buffing yours.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's what we're here for.
Is it, though?
But Charles is just like, So he makes the decision, which is to decide. No, he goes around. Get that little reference for anyone? Okay, so he is going to shift himself up. So
Yeah.
10, 15, and stand dangerously close to his Thri-Crane, who is currently blinded.
Yeah.
And facing the wrong direction. But I'm going to require a strength saving throw from your Displacer Beast as Charles looks like he's pulling out a bit of rope, but it's like crackling and lighting.
Yeah.
And he throws it around his head and tries to lightning lure your...
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Strength saving throw?
Strength saving throw.
That is a 17 plus 4, 21.
Oh, he beats it.
Yeah.
So the lightning cracks out, and the Displacer Beast just kind of like and just shoves to the side.
Yeah.
And just you hear this loud crack as the lightning just misses.
Excellent.
And Charles is kind of like, fuck. However, let me see if I can
Do anything else?
do anything else with that. No, I can't. So
Beautiful.
no. that's just that. And I'm going to use then the rest of my movement to back up an extra 5 feet.
Yeah.
And I'll just stay there. So kind of not behind the Thrycreen, because again, it's kind of thrashing about.
Yeah.
Close by.
Excellent. As we come back round to the top of the round, the crowd are riled up by this butting of heads. The Thrycreen, excellent. Is there... sorry.
No, you're fine.
At the end of each of its turns. Did you make a check at the end of the Thrycreen's turn?
I will... No, because it's his turn.
It's only just been blinded. Beautiful. Excellent. So what would the Thrycreen like to do?
You know what? I didn't roll one at the end of his last turn when he made 2 successful attacks. So I'll roll that now.
Yeah, I mean, for he's blinded.
Then.
Yes,
So
yeah.
I'll roll that now. It's a 2.
Okay, yeah, still blinded, unfortunately.
Still blinded.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll a die. I'm going to flip a coin here to see if he goes after you or your creature.
Okay.
He has no idea where you are, of course.
Yeah.
Straight after the creature.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be interesting. Let's say there are 4 directions here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to
I usually go D8 points to the compass. North
perfect.
is 1.
Yep.
Northeast is 2. East is 3. That sort of thing.
Perfect.
Yeah. So count around. Yeah. 2, 3. No, yeah. So 3 is directly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So the
8.
Thrycrane runs headlong and leaps into the wall.
He watches the guard standing there, goes,
would have
shits his pants real quick.
And then wildly thrashes about, sort of spinning around, clawing at its own face. As it thinks something is covering its eyes.
Okay, yeah.
And at the end of its turn, it's going to roll another second throw.
Absolutely.
For, what's the DC on this one?
15.
No.
The Displacer Beast charges in to the Thrycreen and is just going to go apeshit and as it sees an opening.
Blur is still up.
So, flat rolls. I have been rolling like dog shit.
Absolute dog shit.
12 and 15.
Yes.
Okay.
15 will hit.
15 will hit. Going to take 9 points of bludgeoning and 4 points of piercing as one of the tendrils whaps onto it there.
Nice.
And is going to stay within melee, snarling a little bit. Displacement of himself pops out there, bringing us down to Henning. Henning's going to look across at you and say, once this is over, we are definitely going to have a drink.
In your head, you hear Charles respond, "Hey, but this time you'll get the fucking drinks. I'll scope out the joint."
That sounds like a good idea to me. I am going to just drop a...
just a fireball, just a boom.
I'm going to drop a... I was going to hurl a mind sliver
Ooh, yeah, do it.
your boy there. Intelligence saving throw, please.
Oh, yeah. Oh, a nat 19
Oh,
minus
beautiful.
1, so 18.
That's a save, yeah. As I try to mind sliver your... Doesn't quite take hold. 5, 10, 15, 20,
Yeah, good call,
25.
move back.
Just going to back off out the way there, bringing us down to Charles.
Yeah, I can see my Thrycranes now in a lot of pain. It hadn't taken any damage up until like the last few rounds.
Correct.
Basically.
Yeah.
And but this massive hit from the Displacer Beast has really hurt it. It's been part of its carapace has been knocked off,
Okay,
and there are
it's
like an oozing green, like sipping, like flowing down from the armor. Like it's been hurt. It is,
okay.
It is bloodied.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, Thrycranes don't have a lot of hit points. The blur is gone.
Okay.
Instead, at this point, the Thrycrane is now just going to disappear out of existence as it casts invisibility upon itself.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm going to remove it from the map
Beautiful.
briefly.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean, you can...
and the Thrycrane is going to move
Okay.
on its turn.
We're just doing honor system here?
Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's only got 30 feet of movement.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
It's
it's still blinded, though.
it is blinded.
So
but
where's
its
it running?
back is to the wall.
Okay. And it knows there's a creature in
It
front
knows
of
that
it.
there's a creature in front of it. Its back is to the wall.
Okay.
And so it knows that it could move either left or right.
Okay.
Now I'm going to flip a coin, and that's going to determine which way it's going to go. Cool.
Okay. Beautiful. All right.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's the thing that happened.
That was Charles? No, that was the Thrycreen.
That was the Thrycreen's turn.
Beautiful.
Yes.
That's going to bring us down to the Displacer Beast. The Displacer Beast is going to kind of sit there sniffing the air for a bit. Did you make a stealth check for yourself?
I will now.
Stealth check with advantage, please, because the Displacer Beast is going to make a perception check.
18.
18, beautiful. That is a... no shit. 17 plus 1 wisdom. That is an 18.
Oh. So it knows where the Thrycreen is.
Yes, meets it, beats it. Okay.
The Thrycreen had moved towards Charles. Because
Here's what's gonna happen.
It sensed...
The Displacer Beast is going to run that way, but that was its action.
Yep.
And it now has him pinned against the wall there, and you are right there, and this
Yep.
tendril is like alarmingly close to you.
Yep.
I'm up the other end, Henning's up the other end, like whoa, 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 whoa. That is going to be the Displacer Beast's turn, bringing us down to Henning. Henning is going to... Shit. Henning is
Henning does
going
shit.
to... He's still got the gravity well on your creature. Henning is going to... I can't cast anything on... I don't know where this Displacer Beast, the other one is. I'm going to prestidigitate one of the tendrils on my creature and just like tidy it up a little bit, but in doing so I'm just going to shift it 5 feet away from you.
Oh, nice.
And just kind of,
Yeah.
and it just gets scraped across and kind of turns its head at me, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just look at you, I'm like, get the fuck out of there. It's going to bring us down to you.
Yeah, yeah. So the Thrycreen is still invisible, so we don't...
Yes, we don't know where it is. Yeah,
but
yeah.
the Displacer Beast looked like it was coming straight for me.
Yes, it did.
And-
yeah. That's
and
why
so
we're, yeah.
In this moment, I'm just like, fuck. And I'm going to need you to, for the Displacer Beast, roll a strength saving throw for me.
Yeah.
As I'm going to attempt to cast Gust.
Yeah, beautiful. I believe it's +4 to this roll. That is a 7.
Although, quickly, what size is your creature? Is it medium?
Large.
Motherfucker.
Doesn't work?
No, it's only one medium or small creature that you
that's
can choose.
bullshit.
So,
That's a first level spell slot, all right?
no, that's a cantrip.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
But I have something else instead. Something else that will do something
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
So with those pillars of rock that we saw
Yes,
jut out of the
before.
ground
Yeah.
before, just on the other side of this Displacer Beast, you see this pillar of rock start to come up into the air once more. And I'm going to assume that Henning looks instinctively towards the Game Master.
Yes, yeah.
But he looks just as puzzled as you.
Ooh.
As instead of this pillar, it sort of rises up and then crumbles away to form a hand.
Ooh.
And this hand is going to reach down and it is going to attempt to grapple and drag the Displacer Beast away.
Okay.
So, what I'm going to need is a strength saving throw.
That is a 7.
A 7. So, it fails.
Beautiful.
And this hand grasps the creature. It's going to take some damage.
Oh, yeah.
And it is going to be moved. It's going to be moved 5 feet further away.
Beautiful.
All right. So, takes 7 points of bludgeoning damage as this rock kind of begins to crack and crush the creature. I'm hearing a few snapping of bones as it gets moved.
Excellent.
And it gets dragged an extra 5 feet away.
Beautiful.
And the hand is still stationary there, kind of grabbing.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
not... oh, wait, no, it is. It is.
Grappled?
Grappled.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Excellent. Beautiful. As the hand grapples, everyone kind of cheers and looks up at the Game Master, and the Game Master, and the voice, kind of looks down, almost as enraptured as everyone else to see this.
A lot's happened in 2 rounds of combat.
Yes.
And the battle has looked very one-sided for quite some time.
Indeed, yeah,
until
yeah.
the Displacer Beast got a few good hits in.
Yeah.
And I believe the voice is kind of almost catching himself cheering for one creature over the other. More so, kind of vibing for the underdog.
Okay. Sure.
Because the bets are weighed heavily against Charles and his Thri-Kreen.
Yeah.
And yet they've shown a lot more promise until the Displacer Beast came forth. But I'd like to think that he was kind of more still supportive of that. It's
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, this is outstanding effort. Even blinded, the Thri-Kreen is still managing to survive after such a heavy hit.
It's also the more anthropomorphic, the more human of the creatures.
It is
easier to root for.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Nice.
This thing is upright on two legs.
Very
as well.
nice. What would the Thri-Kreen like to do?
Now, the Displacer Beast has just been hit.
Yes.
So he's lost his blur.
Yes. Yeah.
The Thri-Kreen...
That was an attack, yeah?
Yeah, that was an
beautiful.
attack. Yeah. Wait, no, it wasn't an attack.
No, it
was it?
wasn't.
It was a saving throw.
Yep, so no. Displacer Beast protection and magical illusion. If
You
it
are
is
currently
hit by
restrained.
an attack, if it is hit by an attack,
Yep.
this trait is disrupted. Now, if I'm restrained,
You are restrained.
okay, so it'll be a flat roll.
It will be a flat roll.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the Thri-Kreen is currently invisible.
So it'll be a flat
It'll
roll.
be a flat roll, motherfucker.
Yep.
Damn
No
that
stacked
advantage,
advantage.
disadvantages. All right.
Still
sweet.
blinded as well.
Still blinded as well, so that's fair.
Yeah.
But invisibly in front of it, it's going to make 2 attacks at this kind of restrained Displacer Beast. Have a look.
Yeah.
13 plus 3. That's a 16.
That hits, yeah.
Rolled a lot of 13s on my attacks today.
That was a disadvantage, yeah?
No, that was just straight.
Straight roll, yeah.
Straight. And then a 15 plus 3.
Yeah, both hit. Yeah.
Amazing. So, first one again, we've got our clawed attack. We have our 2d4. So we've got 1. So for 5 points of
Nice.
slashing damage.
Very nice.
As again, the claw kind of this time first finds purchase against stone.
Yeah.
And then presses through.
Nice.
Into the underside of
Very
the Displacer
good.
Beast once more.
And then a bite.
And then the bite. The beak is going to come down and just manage to find like the fleshy part of the tail.
Yeah.
And just like pinch on the very tip of that.
Absolutely.
As it does 2 points of damage.
Okay.
Plus, I'm going to need another Constitution saving throw.
Oh, I'm still poisoned for sure, aren't I? That's a 14, 15, 16, 17.
No, that succeeds.
But I'm still poisoned from the last
You
one.
are
For
poisoned
a-
originally, but
for
you're
a minute.
not. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were
I never
not
shook
paralyzed.
it off.
Well, no, the poisoned, you did shake that off. Because you shook off the paralyzation and then the poisoning at the same time.
Oh, okay, beautiful.
So, yeah, so it's the poison target can repeat the saving throw.
Beautiful. Okay, so
to
poisoned
end the
once
effect.
more. Beautiful.
Good to know. So, yeah, so you're not poisoned anymore. You could.
Excellent. Beautiful. That is going to bring us to...
It's dropped its invisibility.
Yeah.
It's just right in front of you.
Blinded.
Blinded by the light.
Yep.
And kind
Blur.
of somewhat between Charles and the Displacer
Blur
Beast.
is gone.
Blur is gone.
The Displacer Beast is going to turn and just trot up to...
It is restrained.
Well, it's just going to reach out with its whippies.
Yep.
And just flat rolls at
Yeah.
your creature here. With a 10-foot reach. That's much better. One of them is going to be a dirty 20.
Just hits.
And the other is going to be a natural 20.
Oh.
On my brand new dice.
Oh, shit.
Excellent. So this is going to be the...
Charles pulls out a gun.
So this is the...
This is the dirty 20?
That's the bludgeoning. That's the piercing. Okay. This is both. Both attack rolls at once.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yep. Holy shit. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 bludgeoning plus 11 piercing damage.
So
for
32
points of damage.
Do you know how many points, how many hit points the Thri-Kreen has at full HP?
I think it's like 30, right?
33
Yeah.
at full HP. So it's just got 1 point. No.
You heals every
fucked
round.
it up.
As the tendrils whip in, the Displacer Beast flattens the Thri-Kreen and then pulls part of its limb off as those piercing parts of the Displacer Beast kind of slap on and kind of tear it to pieces.
Yeah, and like when you take a crab claw off, you've got that little bit of flesh that sort of sticks and hangs on the inside as the exoskeleton kind of peels off it.
As the creature is torn apart, the Displacer Beast, looking pretty hurt, is kind of there and kind of turns and just stalks past you. Just
It's
gives
still
you
restrained.
just gives you okay. Don't worry about the fucking flavor then.
No.
It is going to turn and look at you with a side eye. As it turns and looks at you with its side eye. I drop that. Henning's going to look at you and say, "Well fought. Apologies. I owe you a drink and the next creature." Yeah.
Charles just sort of looks across and says, "Hey, it's okay, my friend." And the earthen grasp is just going to crush once more. And
go ahead
instantly deal damage.
Okay, go ahead and give me the damage there.
As the extra turn. So as an action, you cause it to squeeze a little tighter. 11 points of
It is still
crushing
up.
damage. Well, it's still up, motherfucker.
Yep, it is just 85 hit points.
Yeah, there's a lot of hit points. It
11.
was rough going up against that.
Yeah. As you do so, crush, the Displacer Beast turns its head. Henning immediately kind of frowns, and you watch as the crowd goes, "Ooh," and the announcer announces that perhaps this is not the end of the fight. Especially seeing this. What does the announcer say?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we thought we had a winner, but apparently a sore loser. Oh, well, we can't have that now, can we? And then the crowd sort of erupts in this, like, rapturous, joyous...
A couple of them say no. Some people say,
Yeah,
well, I mean...
Yeah. There's, like, some of the people that, like, lost their bets.
Yes.
Are obviously
Yeah.
vocally upset.
Yeah.
But they went for the underdog.
Yeah.
And...
That's what happens.
That's what happens when you go for the underdog and a creature with a third of the hit points.
Mm-hmm,
And this Displacer Beast obviously looking more and more angry. The announcers kind of wanting to see how things play out before they make any more changes to the arena. The Displacer Beast has still taken damage, but it has a chance to break free. And what will happen if it does?
The Chancellor steps up and leans in the announcer's ear. And the announcer kind of nods, and the Chancellor says, "Continue. Do not hold back. The loser is to be hanged in front of the Queen." Takes a step back, and Henning and Charles kind of look at each other.
Through the chamber.
Yeah. Henning and Charles look at each other. And that's where we'll come back for our next episode.
Oh, shit.
Leader of the Mind Flare.
Thank you for listening to Theater of the Mind Flayer. If you like what you heard, give us a like, give us a review, rate us 5 stars. If you want to hear more, follow us on Patreon for more exclusive content and extra goodies. And make sure you follow us on all social media, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Theater of the Mind Flayer or at MindFlayer_pod. Thanks.